he'll be back sometime halfway through the year.
Is that like an MCL or something?
No, it was just some, I don't know exactly what it was, but some stuff behind his kneecap.
Seemed like he had a pretty strong game on Saturday.
He did. I thought it was one of his best games. It was really unfortunate. He played awesome throughout the whole game. That's why he and us were real surprised that he had such a tough injury, but found out after the game, or yesterday morning, and it's a setback, but he's had such a good camp, such a good game. He's in a good spot to bounce back.
How did you arrive at the decision to cancel the joint workouts, and was that a hard thing to do for you?
It was tough because we like to do it. In the long run, I waited so long to make the decision because of how much we enjoyed doing it, but when we realized we were just doing it because we were enjoying to do it and trying to change the monotony, that really didn't make it worth it. It really wasn't the best thing for our team, which is where we're at injury-wise and stuff, and love doing that stuff and love to go out there, but the risk was too much, outweighed the reward.
Is there any chance that you could do that before the Raiders game?
No, it's just such a quick turnaround. With us playing on Sunday, having to fly out there and stuff, so we're not going to scrimmage anyone this year.
How much, in addition to that, canceling the joint practices, how much do you have to kind of mix around with the schedule, just the practice schedule, to take care of your team at this point?
That's kind of what I did today. We really, we have a team in two different spots right now. We had like 23 guys miss practice last Thursday who couldn't play in the game also, and most of them starters and things like that. And when that happens, the 2s and 3s really got to take a heavy load. So today a lot of those guys were sore, but a lot of the other guys hadn't practiced in 5 days. So we just did the ones today to kind of, because they needed it. We took really good care of the guys who were in 2 days ago. Changed it up, going to give them a day off tomorrow. So those guys, the 2s and 3s, can continue to rest. The ones will recover from yesterday. And then we'll get 3 good days in a row on our own that we can kind of control and stuff, not going against another team. And then we'll have a walkthrough and we'll have a game.
Talked about how much you value those joint practices in the past. How concerned are you going into the season about, being prepared if you don't have those?
No concern. I think I've said I value them more than the preseason games a little bit, but I also value practice more than the games. So there's really no difference in that. We never scrimmaged against teams when I was in Atlanta, never did in Cleveland, never did in Washington. So it's not something that you have to do. We did once in Houston, I believe. I just think it breaks up the monotony of camp, but we can generate that stuff with ourselves. Sometimes it's nice to go get different schemes, but it all changes once the year starts anyways.
What did you think of the kickoff return in the game? And have you thought about the idea of maybe just kicking it through the back of the end zone and putting them at the 30? It's only a 5-yard difference from a year ago.
It's a hell of an idea. I haven't thought of that. No. We're all talking about that, and it looks like it'll make a lot of sense once the season starts. But this was our first week, us doing it. It was our first week really getting more teams besides the Hall of Fame game and stuff to evaluate it. When you can start there at the 30 and the average starting line's at 29, it doesn't seem like there's that much of a difference or to really go with the risk of it. But also can be an advantage too. We'll see how good our 11 are that we put out there, how our returners are and stuff, whether people give you the opportunity for it. But it's kind of a wait and see approach.
I know how much you love watching special team stuff. Have you spent more time on it because of this than you normally would in training camp?
Yes. That especially because it's just something that we haven't seen, and it's something we've got to keep discussing. And just the spacing of it and stuff, I think, seems closer to more of an offensive play than a special teams play. So there are some similarities in that, but, there's so much unknown. So, the special teams guys have been doing this for a long time, and I always believe the key to special teams is just being sound. You always want to win the game on special teams, but the main thing is you don't lose it. And when you're experiencing with new things like this, there's a lot of unknowns, and that's why we all got to be very involved in it.
What's Chris Conley's value on special teams, but also at split end without Brandon here?
It's been huge. It was huge for us last year. He stepped up, made, whenever we needed him at wideout, he came in and made some big plays. He made some big plays in the Super Bowl at wideout. He made some earlier in the playoffs. And then on special teams, we didn't think he would be a big factor on special teams, but just like everything he does, he's such a pro and figures everything out. He was our best gunner in the Super Bowl, did a hell of a job at that, and wherever we've asked him, he's done a hell of a job for us.
Like about Robbie Chosen.
What's that?
What do you like about Robbie Chosen?
I've always been a fan of him his whole career. I mean, especially going back to the Jets. I mean, just the speed he's had, the way he plays for a guy who can run so fast. I always thought he played physical, ran his routes very well. When you're a very good go runner, streak runner, but also can run a slant, it's a problem. Love that he has some experience in our offense with just being with Miami last year. And we got him in on a workout last week, and he looked like what we've seen from Chosen in the past. And we're excited to get him on board at this time.
You said that Kalia Davis will miss half the season. Is that to suggest that you'll keep him through the cuts and then put him on IRs to keep
Yeah, we got to figure all that out. But, I mean, we plan on Kalia being around here, and we plan on him coming back and helping us this year.
Is there a chance you'll play the ones in this game now that you're not doing the joint workouts?
Yeah, there is a chance. I mean, usually I decide that based off how the joint practices go. There's been times I've told them that we're going to go, and I'm going to use all the ones in these joint practices a ton and not play them in the game. And the practices haven't gone the way I've wanted, and we've ended up playing them. And then sometimes they've gone exactly how we wanted, and we didn't feel the need to play the guys. And I don't really see much different going against ourselves. Well, it's nice for those guys to get a day off tomorrow so we can have 3 really tough practices in a row where we've kind of built up to our mountain, which we say that with the most reps, which will be one of those. So we'll see how those 3 practices go, and then we'll make the decision on what we think helps our team and the individuals for the game.
You roster rules help with Kalia. I know you could have, I think, 2.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it helps a lot. Not just with him, but usually every year there's a number of guys like that.
The approach to a season is so different than it used to be. Having 23 guys out sounds really dire, but if this was 10 years ago, how many of those guys would be practiced?
It's a lot more, which usually hurts them longer. So, I mean, I love the way it is. You want to push guys to get in because it's so important to, to build that callus and go through all this so they don't have to do it during the season. When you're having to need guys to build that on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that doesn't always help for Sunday. So it is more of a challenge. It's nice that you get to keep 90 to the final cut so you don't have to mess around with that. And it helps so much more just being able to keep 16 guys on practice squad as opposed to the past. But we also don't go 2 practices in a day, which sometimes helps people, but sometimes when we used to go 2 practices a day, everyone was so tired and slow, it was harder to get hurt because no one could move that fast. So you've been on both sides, and definitely like the way it is now. I mean, it's smarter the way it is now, but there's some give and take with everything.
Forster said last week that Pooney has been, though he thought he was going to be good, is the reason he was drafted, but a little better than he expected at this point. Is that in line with kind of your assessment?
Definitely. I mean, we were excited about him right away, but, when you lose the 2 guys in front of him, who both started a lot of games last year, that, a guy gets thrown in there before you want to throw him in there. And sometimes that can make guys better, but sometimes when they get put in a position that they aren't quite ready for, you get overwhelmed, and it takes you a while to kind of get that confidence back. And he's been good since his first snaps. It hasn't seemed too big for him. He's gotten better each day in practice, and when you see that, you really want to see how it is in the game and see if anything changes. And he looked the same in the game as practice, so we're excited about that.
What did you think about?
Irvine was a potential time for Huff to come back. Where is he at in the recovery process?
Yeah, he's going to see his doctor on Thursday to get his checkup, and we'll see where he is after that. And it's going very well. Hopefully, we'll get some good news on that, and we can get him back in practice sooner than later.
What did you think about Isaac Alarcon's performance against Tennessee?
He got a lot of playing time. So, he's been our second guy that we've had in that situation. And I think Alfredo never got in longer than the last series. And so he started the 3rd quarter. Jalen Moore got sick before the game, so we couldn't play him. So we were down just 1 more tackle. So he got a huge opportunity. He got a lot of playing time, some good, some bad. But the main thing was he got it on tape, got out there, and I thought he got more settled down as the game went.
What do you think of Mustafa? He had a big play. You challenged it, and obviously I'm sure he was happy you did.
I loved how he played. You could see how he did it on special teams. He had no hesitation. He's a hitter, but sometimes guys get in that first game and they slow down a little bit, and he was the opposite. And he showed up on special teams. He showed up on a 3rd and 2. They got to our middle 3rd player, which usually is at least an explosive, and he met him at 3 yards, which is huge. The goal line stand was an unbelievable play. We had a missed assignment, so we had no edge player. So he was actually the middle 3rd guy and just filled it real fast in a blink, and he knows how to hit, so it's nice the guy went backwards.
Where's Braden Willis and George Odom today?
George Odom had a baby, and then Braden was just sore from the game. I didn't know if he wasn't out there or not, but we weren't going to have him do any reps.
You said that Brandon Aiyuk is taking part in meetings. Is there anything that he's able to do or has done on the field, whether it's just, running routes with the quarterbacks or anything of that nature?
Not with us. I trust Brandon knows what he's got to do for this year to get ready to play. I have a feeling he's finding a way to stay in shape and do those things. But there's a football shape element that I know he's eager to get back to, and us too. So hopefully we can get to that soon. But Brandon knows what he's got to do to be in shape for the season, and I feel confident he's doing that.
Isaac Yiadom, I don't know if we've had an update on him. Where's he at?
I think he's a couple weeks away, 1 week away. Forgot to ask. Ankle. Yeah, he rolled his ankle in a walkthrough last week, and they said it was going to be a couple weeks.
Is this strange that this many guys are hurt at this stage, or is it surprising to you?
I think we've been pretty fortunate the last couple of years, and that never stays. We've definitely been less fortunate this year, so a lot more numbers than we've been used to. But I think the best news about it all, we told you about Ambry and Kalia, which are more serious and longer, but the other guys are, they're anywhere from 10 days to 3 weeks. They're guys that we expect to be ready for the season. It's always tough when you miss training camp, so hopefully we can get them back. But, we've had a lot of nicks and stuff that has made it harder to practice, but you'll take that over a serious injury.
Feliciano, what's his timetable?
He's day-to-day with that. I'm hoping. Oh no, he's not day-to-day. He's not coming back this week. Forgot to check before I came, but he's not coming this week.
What was his thing?
Just knee. Every time I say words, guys don't like them. So it's not an ACL, it's not an MCL, it's just knee soreness. Is that good for you? Is it irritation, soreness, doesn't feel right, and we're trying to give him time to get it better.
With him not practicing and Burford not practicing, is kind of the onus on Pooney? Those guys. Is the door wide open for Pooney to take it if he can see?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime somebody gets starter reps, it's always open. You don't just give it away and stuff, and but it's always an opportunity. And people get opportunities, and you see how they take advantage of it, and he's doing a hell of a job so far. All right, thanks, guys.